First of all, thank you very much, the organizing committee, for inviting me and giving such a generous introduction about mine. Now, when we talk about our social fabric today, there are a lot of incidents which can one can recall, and Dr. Darshan Pal very correctly told a tweet by Hemanta Biswa Sarma, the Chief Minister of Assam, and same person had said that the people should trouble the Mias in Assam. The Bengali speaking Muslims are generally addressed as Mias. Actually, I also must tell you that there is a trend called Mia poetry. Very touching, very humane. If possible, try to have a look at it. Anyway, so he was saying that if there is a Mia rickshawala, if he asks for 5 rupees, you give 4 rupees. See the humanism inside that chief minister who's constitutionally sworn, who has taken an oath on the constitution about peace, justice, and everything else. And on the top of it, then he comes out with a video shooting with a rifle, targeting a Muslim person, as Dr. Pal has very correctly brought to our notice. So now this is the one side of the story, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. A lot lies underneath that. You will recall this Christmas, 25th December, what had happened that many people who were selling the Christmas wear, red caps and other things, they were attacked. One visually handicapped seller of the red caps, she was threatened that, oh, you are doing conversion work. So that way she was attacked. And very interestingly, I found that within the church, in one church, our great Prime Minister went to talk to the bishops. And outside the church, his followers are doing all this destructive work. This is just a couple of examples that Muslims and Christians today are facing a very severe onslaught on their rights as a citizen. Now, we all recall, if you can help, you can answer me also. When we say we, the people of India, in the preamble, there are three major words: liberty, equality, and what's the third one? Fraternity. Now, so when we talk of fraternity, what is the status of fraternity today? And the status of fraternity, when we talk, we see that Muslims are getting ghettoized and ghettoized. Means first we saw that the great Gujarat model. Our friend Mewani is there, Jignesh Mewani is there. With due apologies to him, I see that the great Gujarat model, which was propagated by the Prime Minister, today is in shambles. Such negative things are happening there. I will come to that if possible. But this is the tip of the iceberg which we saw. And then secondly, you remember that there is our that national security advisor from long years, Go Dowell. I think he's 80, 82, but not fit for retirement. He continues, gets all the reappointments. And you know what he said to the meeting of the youth? He said, "Don't forget that we have to take revenge." Hello, revenge against whom? They are popularized that Muslim kings destroyed Hindu temples, Muslim kings spread Islam by force, and then there is a series of these things which they have propagated about Muslim families and the global terrorism which was created by America very clearly, that is being attributed to Islam and Muslims very sadly. So that Dowell is now talking of taking revenge, and he is no small person, he is a part of the setup. So these things which are taking place actually are totally destroying the fraternity of our country. And believe me, you, if there is no fraternity in the country, we cannot have liberty, equality, and even the peace and progress in the society. Fraternity is the first target of these people, and fraternity is not just that putting the people negative of that, putting the people in the gas chambers. Putting the people in the gas chambers begins when the hate speech rules the streets. Putting the people in the gas chamber begins when the hate speech has acceptability. There is organization to create acceptability of these things through their propaganda, through their shakhas, through their schools, through their media, and what have you, everything. So today's social common sense generally is heavily tilted against Muslims and Christians. And generally, once I was talking to a UN rapporteur on these minority issues in India, he said that in India there are two things which are popular, that Muslims are terrorists and Christians are converters. He tried to summarize his observation as to what is happening in India. So this, particularly when we talk of the hatred against Muslims, this has been created not yesterday. It has been created through a long process, the beginning of which, of course, lies in the British policy of divide and rule, when they introduced communal historiography. Difficult word, easy meaning. That when we look at history through the prism of the religion, when I look at the history of the kings through the eyes of religion. Now, kings were ruling for power and wealth, and British historiography introduced, oh, Hindu king, Muslim king fighting with each other for their religion. Totally bogus, totally useless thing, but that was carried on, picked up by an organization which I think you can identify. That organization's name I like you to get. They were earlier wearing half pants, now promoted to full pants. Yeah, so they picked up, they added all the spices to that. Oh, that Muslim king destroyed so many temples. Now, one or two examples how hatred is created. My first question is, if some Muslim king did some atrocities against Hindus, which is wrong statement, should the revenge be taken against today's Muslims? If you have power, go and punish that particular king. H.G. Wells had conceptualized time machine. Do that job. I'll be happy. I have no problem. Punish Pushyamitra Shunga. Punish Pushyamitra Shunga for killing so many Buddhists, for destroying so many Buddha vihars. I'll be happy. But taking revenge of those constructed constructed untruths into a sort of a popular social common sense is totally unacceptable. So in this series, I will leave out the Muslim communalism. They have already destroyed Pakistan to the core. Please underline this sentence. Wherever politics comes in the name of religion, country's progress, country's amity, and country's peace has no place at all in that society. So that's what Muslim communalism did and what Hindu communalism did here. Now we are talking of rights, we are talking of movements. Dr. Surendra Pal so nicely said, movements did this, movements did, we should do that. I will add to that 10 times what he's right. Have you seen any time that the organizations related to RSS have talked about rights? Never. They will talk of rights of the elite and duties of the poor. Very clear-cut distinction between rights and division. So when they did themselves, the very clever thing was they formed shakhas. In shakhas, young boys were indoctrinated. Our glorious Hindu kings, Prithviraj Chauhan, Shivaji Maharaj, this, that, and the other, and the evil Muslim kings. That was their central theme of indoctrinating thousands, which have turned into lakhs. Believe me, today there are 82,000 shakhas spread all over the world, all over the country. World when it came from mouse was the right thing, because today, if you know, there are 25,000 organizations related to RSS all over the world. The caravan report should be there for you. So what are the issues they raise? That Muslims, Christians are foreigners. Now I feel like telling a small interesting thing. Now they in Hindi, this is there that Musalman or Christian Videshi hai. I ask you if you can help me. Is any religion, does religion have any nationality or they are global? They are global. Nationality, religion doesn't have nationality, but they try to spread this. ये विदेशी धर्म है. अब one thing, two sentences I will talk in Hindi. I think religions are universal, knowledge is universal, science is universal. पर एक चीज़ है जो देशी विदेशी होती है, वो शाम को कुछ लोग लेते हैं ना रिलैक्स होने के लिए. That's all. Anyway, so this was the foundation of their spreading hatred against Christians and Muslims. Now, what type of issues they took up? Till freedom movement, they were just in creating the ground for this hate speech, which today has become part of the thing. So sometimes our Prime Minister will say, बटोगे तो कटोगे, एक है तो नेक है. Dog whistling is clear. The creation of hatred, its intensification in the society has become unfortunately a norm, because of which Muslim ghettos are proliferating. And I would think I like to get approval from Jignesh Mevani. I kept visiting Gujarat many times, and last 6 months I went twice. I was shocked. When I used to go to Gujarat after 2002, I used to find that Muslim ghettos are coming up. Now that is a thing of the past. What is happening now? Now the communities are getting isolated on the basis of caste. We are Leva Patels. So here the other type of Patel will not stay. We are Baniyas, so other type of people will not stay. So when the process of division starts, it doesn't stop at one place. Look at Pakistan. They began with attacking Hindus and Christians. Then once that job was done quite a bit, they came to attacking within Muslims, Shias, Ahmadiyyas, Qadianis. So this process of divisive thing, which RSS, BJP has shown, has a very dangerous things for the past. And here I am reminded of Gregory Stanton. Gregory Stanton, a very deep scholar of genocide in the world, had predicted that Ghana will have genocide. He observed, he learned that Ghana radio, what type of propaganda it does, and he said there may be a genocide, and it did take place against certain tribes there. He has also said few years ago that in India, on the scale of genocide, scale of 10, India has already come to the stage of 8. That was few years ago. I don't know the latest one, what will happen. So I was talking about what type of issues are created because of which hate is there. There is poverty, illiteracy, and Professor Prabhakar has so well told us about the economic plight. But in the light of this, what are the type of issues which RSS raised, BJP raised? Temple. Now on temple, one important thing I'll tell you. Recently our Prime Minister had gone to Somnath and he tried to revive the Somnath debate. I must tell you, at that time, Gandhi, Nehru, Patel all objected that government money should not be spent on building a temple. Government is not going to build temples, mosques and churches. Gandhi, Nehru, Patel unanimous. And Nehru replies to this a few years later while inaugurating Bhakra Nangal Dam. Nehru says, these dams, that time we had a food shortage. These dams, and I add to that, these public sectors, these universities, these research institutes, they are the temples of modern India. Two concepts of temple here. One, the which Advani model came in 1980. He said, what Nehru is saying about temples of modern India, these days, public sector, universities, research institutes, our temples are underneath the mosque. Destroy the mosque, build the temples, and of course they built the temples also very specifically. They build the temples in such a way that there is a leakage from the top regularly. The way they build the bridges which break down in 2 years, etc., etc. So first temple. In the temple, how the hatred is spread? Temples are destroyed by Muslim kings, so Muslims are bad. Then comes the issue of conversion. I'll drop the issue of conversion. Then comes a very interesting issue, and that is cow, holy cow. Professor Prabhakar was telling us 0.7% of the money is spent in research. Part of that money is also spent on research on cow. Cow urine, cow dung, cow milk, cow ghee, etc., etc. It is called Panchagam, and crores of rupees are being dumped in that. Ramayana, Mahabharata, beautiful mythological pieces. Research is being done to prove that they are right. Anyway, so after this cow thing, I was reminded of one thing. In one BJP ruled state, Rajasthan, Hingonia, hundreds of cows died because of hunger, lack of medicines, because of getting drowned in their own mud, etc., etc. I, of course, won't go into detail of that. I can just tell you, Swami Vivekananda in his books writes that beef was eaten in Vedic period. Then I was reading one book by Vijay Trivedi on that person, who was our prime minister and also used to write poetry. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, thank you very much. I was reading a biography of him. So Atalji once went to America on a lecture tour. After the lecture, he was enjoying his meals. The person next to him tapped on his shoulder. He said, Atalji, what you're eating is beef. Atalji smiled loudly and said, if it is beef, how does it matter? It is not of Indian cow, it is of American cow. Very nice. So in the name of beef, 100 lynchings took place. 86 of Muslims and 14 of Dalits. Dalits are also not spared. Una incident, you remember, where our friend Jignesh Mewani did a very wonderful protest and brought the Dalits together. Salute to him. So then comes love jihad. Love jihad, that of course I am an old man, I am forgetting about what is love, etc., etc. But they say love doesn't know any boundaries. Young people will endorse me better. So in an open society, intercaste marriage, and I remind you, Baba Sahib Ambedkar had said, if you want to eradicate caste system, intercaste marriages should be promoted. Adding on to that, I will say, if you want to promote amity, fraternity, interreligious marriages should be encouraged. Against that, they say love jihad. Sorry, just last bit. So friends, I'll stop here. But before stopping, I will just say, please note that our today's major enemy is this ideology coming from the Sangh, coming from BJP, which doesn't believe in Indian constitution, which doesn't believe in the values of liberty, equality, human rights, etc., etc. And last point I will say, in other sessions I will try to say, we have to counter the social common sense which these organizations have created, and that is one of the major tasks. Our movements, our social movements, I am very happy that we are coming together as social movements, but we have to take up the issue of how to eradicate this hatred from the society. We have to ensure how we, irrespective of religion, caste, gender, go shoulder to shoulder marching for a better society. Thank you very much.